President Trump participates in one big, beautiful event.
Thank you very much.
So what the hell is this?
Thank you all for being here to support one of the most important pieces of legislation in the history of our country.
What?
And that's
Are they going to ban furries?
Virtually everybody. The one big, beautiful bill to secure our borders, turbocharge our economy.
Wait, he's just
and bring back the American dream. That's what's happening too.
He's just going to do it?
Met with tremendous approval and reception.
Oh.
And when we were thinking about doing it, we were going to break it down into 3, 4, 5, 6, or even 7 bills.
That's a lot.
And I said, let's make it one big, beautiful bill, Mike, right?
Yeah? Great.
They actually said it would be very much harder to get this way, but it would be better. And the truth is, I think it worked out well because there's something for everybody. And I think in many ways, much better. We're delighted to be joined by Secretaries Marco Rubio, Scott Bessent, Pete Hegseth, Doug Burgum, Doug Collins, Sean Duffy, Howard Lutnick, Linda McMahon, Brooke Rollins, Scott Turner, Chris Wright. Wow, that's a hell of a group. I think that's the biggest group of cabinet members.
Yeah?
That's the biggest group of cabinet, and we're not finished yet because we have our great Attorney General Pam Bondi here.
So what do they have everybody here for?
U.S. Trade Representative, and he's working around 24 hours. We have them one after another. Countries come. Everybody wants to be with us because we have the hottest country in the world. A year ago, we had
What about like Africa?
A disaster on our hand. We had the coldest country.
Like that shit's hot as fuck.
And now we have the hottest, the King of Saudi Arabia. When I was there, we brought back $5.1 trillion between Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and UAE.
Damn.
And all three said, great leaders, they all said to me the same thing.
What'd they say?
You know, it's amazing. In 4 months at that time, now it's getting to be close to 6. But in 4 months, they said, you have the hottest country anywhere in the world. It's not even close. And they thought we were dead a year before that. They said, I thought you were dead. The country was dead. And it was pretty close to it, but we have the hottest country in the world, so it's great.
What do you mean by
and
that?
Trade Representative Jamieson Greer is very busy because, where are you, Jamieson? Everybody wants to make a deal and have a part of it, right? I know. You and Howard and Scott are working overtime.
Well, Europe, then.
Making deals with other countries. Remember a few months ago, the press was saying, do you really have anybody of any interest? Well, we just signed with China yesterday, right? Just signed with China. We have
that's nice.
Everybody. We're not going to make deals with everybody. Some we're just going to send them a letter, say, thank you very much. You're going to pay 25, 35, 45%. That's the easy way to do it. And my people don't want to do it that way. They want to do some of it, but they want to make more deals than I would do. But we're having some great deals. We have one coming up, maybe with India, very big one.
What about
we're going to open up India. In the China deal, we're starting to open up China, things that never really could have happened. And the relationship with every country has been very good. And we also have OMB Director, who's very busy also, Russ Vogt. Thank you. Thank you, Russ. And also, I want to give a very special thank you. This is a hell of a group we have here. This is amazing, the quality of people. But actually, I like these people and most of those people much better than the people I just named, okay?
Guys, I don't see a teleprompter
But a very special
anywhere.
Thanks as well to Speaker Mike Johnson, who's a great, legendary guy. He's going to go down as a legend.
Oh, shit. Uh-oh.
A great friend of mine, a fantastic Senator, Roger Marshall, wherever you may be. Roger. Thank you. Thank you very much.
They're going to have to stand there for an hour.
Bernie Moreno, great win Bernie had in Ohio. Bernie.
Oh, different Bernie.
That was a tough race. They said that was not winnable, and he won by about 5 points, so that was pretty good. So much for not winnable. Mike Lee is here. Mike, hi, Mike. Thank you, Mike.
Yeah. Bro, he's
Tim Sheehy, another
more,
tremendous win.
He's giving more shout-outs than a fucking
Young,
Pitbull
handsome.
song. What is this?
That was another race that wasn't supposed to be able to be won. They said, well, we have a very young, handsome guy. I said, does that matter? Looks don't matter, do they, Mike? Looks. Anyway, great job. You can't help it. You can't help it. Great. That was a great race, along with Representatives Paul Gosar,
what is
Greg
this?
Murphy, Tom Kaine, Jen Kiggins, Rob Bresnahan, who's a... Where is Rob? Stand up, Rob. Let me see you. Good. He's done a fantastic job. And Ryan McKenzie. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you all. That's great. The big group of
We're gonna read
people. We're
everybody's
here
names
this
now?
afternoon to share the stories of an incredible group of patriots from across the nation whose future we are defending with the one big, beautiful bill. This is the ultimate codification of our agenda to, very simply, a phrase that's been used pretty well by me over the last 10 years, but maybe even before that, make America great again.
I've
Very
heard of
simple,
that.
make America great again.
Yeah.
When Joe Biden used to get up and say, we will stop this horrible MAGA. We're going to stop MAGA. We're going to fight it. We're going to... I said, Joe, loosen up. It's called Make America Great Again. It's okay. Remember that he got up so angry. He was so angry. He said, make America great again. But we'll deliver
Oh,
a
my
record tax
God.
cut, a record
The voice
spending
acting
cut,
of
a
the
record
year?
investment
Yeah.
in border security. We've done so well on the
Amazing.
border. You know, last month we had 0
It's
people that
real
crossed
quality
the border.
there, guys.
0.
Nobody's coming over anymore. They're kicking the fuck out.
So Christie and Tom Homan and some of the people, what a job you've done. But, you know, people forget about that. They don't care. The border's been fixed. I wanted to talk about the border 2 days ago at a big group. Sir, they don't want to hear about the border. Why? It's fixed. You know, it's the second time it happened to me. In 2016, I won on the border. I fixed it in about 3 months. It was beautiful. And they wouldn't let me talk about the border. Sir, nobody wants to
man.
hear about the border. But we're going to talk about it anyway. Right, Tom Holman? We're talking about it anyway.
Oh, my God. Man.
So we have a big number of dollars that's coming here because we want to keep it that way, and we want to keep it fixed, and a record number of deportations.
That's
We're
good.
bringing
Yeah.
criminals out by the thousands. Nobody can even imagine. They let people in that
Brit
were
here, I never
murderers.
liked Trump, but I love him now. Is that
11,888
it?
murderers.
What?
Gang members, people from mental institutions, and insane
He's talking about
asylum.
the
You know what that is?
protesters.
That's insane asylum. That's
They need to bring
a
those back.
mental institution on steroids.
Yeah, let's bring those
During
back.
the campaign, I talk about the late, great Hannibal Lecter. Do you know who that is, Hannibal Lecter? Silence of the Lambs. I'd talk about it, and the fake news would
The
go
late,
crazy.
great
Why does he
Hannibal
keep mentioning
Lecter.
it? Well, because we won in a landslide. That's why they don't want to have. They don't want to have Hannibal in our midst. And the day I signed
What
this
the
bill into
fuck
law,
is
almost
he
every
talking about?
major promise made in the 2024
What the
campaign
fuck is
already
this?
will have become a promise kept. And that's very important. Promises made, promises kept.
Oh, my God. We're eating them? Yeah.
And according to the Council of Economic Advisors, these reforms will protect or create more than 7 million jobs, add 3.1% to economic growth, reduce taxes for the typical American by nearly 15%, and increase take-home pay for the normal family of 4 by at least $13,000. And that takes place immediately. That's not bad, right? Look, I'm looking at that guy
Yep.
back there. Right? That's pretty good. And if we had a person over at the Fed that would lower interest rates a little bit, that would be helpful too.
Oh.
It's hard to believe. This is on top of, we have to fight this guy. He's not doing the job. Each point that he keeps it up is the equivalent of $300 billion.
Wait, what?
$300 billion. So if he lowered it
That's a
to,
lot
let's
of
say,
money.
$600 billion, we have to work hard with cuts on that, right? That's a lot of cutting.
That's an assload of money.
And this guy could do it so
This is
easily.
shout out
We don't
Central?
have
Yeah.
inflation. Well, we might have inflation. Yeah, and if you do, you raise the rate a little bit. That's okay. But we're going out because Biden gave us a lot of short-term debt. And in giving us short-term debt, he did us no favor. So I think what we'll do is we'll probably just extend the short-term debt and then go out because I don't want to tie it up for 10 or 15 years at a high rate. But
Posts
every
a
point
joke every
is
30 seconds.
It's really more.
He does.
Is $300 billion. So if we got it down to 1%, we're talking about almost $1 trillion in saving just with the stroke
lot
of
of
a
money.
pen. No work, no missing anything.
It's an assload
Just
of money.
Like an accounting situation. Oh, Doug Collins, I just see Doug. Did I mention you, Doug? I don't think so. I'm glad I saw you. I'm glad that somebody's going to be in big trouble with you. They didn't write your name down.
Oh,
Doc.
jeez.
Somebody's in big. Somebody's in. I got you.
Bro, what
so
is he
we
talking
think of
about?
that though. We save, and all you have
What?
to do. It's so simple. I'm explaining to this guy, and Biden extended him. That wasn't good. I'm
The
explaining to him.
ADHD president?
You can do so much for our country. You could save $1 trillion just with a stroke of a pen. Just a little, the utterance of a sentence that we're going to be cutting. It's a shame. It's a shame. We're one of the highest. We should be the lowest. You know, with the United States of America, we'd have money coming in like at levels that they have never seen. I got a call the other day from the people in Congress because we're doing our bill. I didn't even tell you this, Mike, and they called. They said, there's something wrong with the numbers, sir. I said, what's wrong? I don't know. They're not balancing out. There's something really wrong.
What is
I
it?
said, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Well, we don't know. I said, what's the problem? We're taking in much more money than we have scheduled. I said, so far that sounds good. They said, how much is it? About $80 billion. I said, do me a favor, check the tariff line. They called me back an hour later. Sir, we've taken in $88 billion in tariffs. Isn't that a beautiful thing? $88 billion. I thought I'd tell these little stories. Go off script and tell these little stories, Scott, right? Because it does make it a little more interesting.
$80 billion?
Although my speechwriters have just gotten every award in the book. Vince, where are you, Vince?
Oh, my God.
Where are we?
He's still going with the shout-outs?
He's gotten all these awards, and I'm going off the record all the time. Where is he? He didn't show up to the speech. He wrote the speech. He didn't show. Well, that means he has confidence in me. According to the Council of Economic Advisors, these reforms will protect or create more than 7 million jobs, add 3.1% to economic growth, reduce taxes for the typical American by nearly 15%, and increase take-home pay for a normal family by an incredible $13,000. All of these things are happening. And by the way, there's no inflation.
All
of the numbers I gave you, all of the money that's coming in.
That's good.
Maybe more importantly than the billions of dollars
we're
taking in with tariffs is the fact that we've got hundreds of plants going up all over the United States.
They patched it out? Yeah, we got rid of it.
I was with Howard and Scott
Which
and
is good,
Texas
right?
Instruments the
I
other
feel like
day.
a lot of people don't like inflation.
The head of Texas Instruments, they're going to spend $60 billion in the United States. And he said, sir, please don't do it to me. And I looked at him. I knew exactly what he meant. He said, you mean tariffs, right? He said, that's right. If you ever get rid of those tariffs, you've cost me a fortune. They're all coming in because they don't want to pay the tariffs, and they're coming in at levels. And it only works for the United States because it doesn't work for other countries, but it works for us. We have a record investment. We have records and everything. And when these places open up, that's bigger than the $15 trillion that I'm talking about. You know, you don't see it right away. But bigger is the fact that they're all coming in. They're building their factories, the AI factories and the auto plants. We have auto plants. They're closing up in other countries. I don't want to specifically name the countries.
Actually, pretty good.
You know who they are. And they're coming into the U.S. and they're opening up and building like nobody's ever seen anything like it.
Holy shit.
I don't call it a miracle. I call it, this should have been done 40 years ago. We would have never lost our auto.
It's a big money situation.
50% of our auto industry to China, Mexico, Canada, and various other countries. Should have never happened if you had a president that said, we're going to charge you tariffs. You're not going to build next to us. Send it in and take away our jobs. If you would have said 25, 50, or 100% tariff, not one company would have left. But they weren't business people. They were politicians, not very good ones, and some good ones, but some really not good at anything, to be honest with you. We're going to stop the largest tax hike, and we're going to do that in history. This would be, if the bill doesn't pass, there'll be a 68% tax increase. Think of that, 68%, which would be the largest in history by about 40 points.
What are you talking?
And we'll make the Trump tax cuts permanent, expand the child tax credit, and we will deliver no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security for our great seniors.
Oh, wow. No tax on Social Security is huge. Yeah, is that a new one?
Among the countless citizens who will benefit from these tax cuts is Malachi Krzyzewski, a devoted mom and DoorDash driver from Ripon, Wisconsin, who uses her tip income to support her son. Just think of that, no tax on
Oh,
tips.
she
And it
probably
was
used to be a
very
games journalist.
big problem. I was at a dinner in my beautiful building in Las Vegas, and unrelated to this, and I said,
Jesus.
"What's going on?" I will never say good-looking waitress.
Twitch
because
donations
looks
count as
don't matter
tips?
anymore,
Yeah.
you know, in our modern society. She happened to be beautiful, but I won't say that. I won't mention that. But nevertheless, a waitress
I'm
came
not
over.
going to say the
and
name
I said,
of the race
"How are you
of the
doing?" She said,
doctor.
"Not good, sir." Why? "The government is killing me on tips." And she looked at me, she said, "Sir, there should be no tax on tips." I said, "Say it again." "There should be no tax on tips." I said, "That's the coolest
Jesus.
thing I've ever heard." I walked outside, the press was there, as always, waiting for something bad to happen, hundreds of them. I said, "Ladies and gentlemen, please announce tonight there will be no tax on tips." And a legend was made. We won Nevada by so much. Republicans don't win Nevada. We won Nevada. So I want to thank that young, beautiful waitress. Thank you very much.
So some hot chick got him to do this, and now it's okay.
But with no tax on tips and
Wow.
other cuts, this bill will save Malachi thousands of dollars per year,
I guess-
enabling her
yeah,
to
he never
achieve her
shouted
goal
out
of
his
visiting
wife.
every U.S. state with her son. She wants to visit
Yeah,
every
she's not
state by
there.
the time he's 18 years old. So, Malachi, it sounds to me like you're off to a fantastic start.
Oh,
and where are
geez.
you, Malachi? Where are you? Congratulations. Great. That's good. Thank you.
Someone made $1 million
Also with
on
us
tips
today
on
is
no
Luke
tax.
Wilson, a 23-year-old electrical lineman. He loves being an electrician, but in this case, the lineman. And these are guys that take big risk, and
Yeah.
it's hard stuff. But if you know what you're doing, it's fine. He's from Harmony, Pennsylvania, as well as Dee Sova, a truck driver from Springfield, Missouri, where, by the way, our beautiful planes landed, our B-2s. They landed after 36 hours of flying. Great going, Pete. And they hit the target.
Oh, please.
And they hit the target,
Yeah.
and the target has now been proven to be obliterated, just as we said. We had little fake news from CNN. Thank you very much, CNN, for that. With 3 million miles of driving under her belt, who mentors other women in her
This is
industry. And I just
insane.
want to
How
say,
does this
Luke and Dee
happen?
spend countless hours working overtime to help make this country run. And this bill, the
Fake
typical
news
overtime
bingo,
worker
yeah.
like them will take home nearly $1,500 extra every
is why there's
single
no
year.
healthcare
So
in
you're
the
talking
US?
about at least
See the Obama video?
1,500,
No.
and there will
I'll
be
look at
no
after this.
harassment because you were being harassed by the Democrats.
Oh.
So Luke and Dee,
Uh-oh.
congratulations to you both. Thank you very much. Congratulations, wherever you may be. Thank you. Thank you very much. Also with us is James Benson, a third-generation auto worker from Belleville, Michigan, who has spent 26 years at
the
Ford
red hat.
Motor Company, which is doing very well. They have a lot of plants in this country. If you have plants in this country, you're going to make a lot of money. And is a member of a tremendous group of people, auto workers. And I'll tell you, we love these people. Auto workers for Trump. And I came through for them, but they were with me long before I really thought. A lot of people said, is he going to run again? Will he run? They've always been with me.
Well,
the
they
auto
thought he was gonna
workers.
be in
James
jail.
was a lifelong Democrat until 2017
Oh.
when he saw the benefits of our tax law. And he also liked Trump. Now, sometimes they
it's
can
just
like the law,
simulation,
but
not
if
the
they
actual
don't like the
bombing. That's what I thought,
candidate,
too.
it's not going to matter, right? Is that right, Marco? Marco knows.
I was gonna
'cause
save
he
that
has
video
been
to
one
watch
hell of a great Secretary of State, right? Stand up, Marco.
I will say that Marco Rubio really was
Everybody
cooking.
respects Marco,
Yeah.
right? True.
Every interview that he does, I think is
Everybody
good.
respects him. Now we're delivering an
Marco,
even
that's
bigger
right.
win for the auto workers by making interest on car payments fully tax deductible. You know, that's something only rich people seem to have gotten. I said, and that was my idea. It's pretty simple. But I said, the rich people, they always looking for deductions. We want deductions.
Yep.
Linda, did I say, will you please stand up? Linda McMahon. So great. How much is Harvard going to be charged? How much are you asking for Harvard? Because they really
A
have
lot?
violated a lot of different caveats, haven't they? Huh? A lot. They've been given $5 billion
Vince McMahon?
over the years. Can you imagine?
I don't know.
And that's over a short number of years. That's just the beginning. They have $52 billion sitting in the bank, and they haven't been nice to our country. So I want to thank Linda McMahon, who's been really fantastic. But I said, on interest, I said, why couldn't we, if a car is made in the United States only, because otherwise we don't care if it's made someplace else, give the people that buy the car a deduction on the interest that they're paying to buy the car.
Oh, wow.
And people said, what a great idea. It's so simple. It's like the paperclip. Somebody came up with the idea of a paperclip many years ago, 1817. And he became a very rich person.
No.
And everybody looked at it and said, why the hell didn't I think of that? But it's like the paperclip, but only if the car is made in America. Remember that, James. We're going to keep those Michigan auto factories roaring. And as you know, we won Michigan by a lot, Susie, right? We won Michigan by a big margin, and something that typically is not easy, but I think we've won it. I actually think we've won it 3 times in a row. So it's been a great state, but a big factor with the auto workers. They went with us very big, and I love them. The One Big Beautiful Bill will also be an incredible victory for American farmers, another group that we did great with, especially family farmers like James Cullifer of Virginia Beach. Our bill will provide 100% expensing so they can buy a new farm equipment. And by the way, the expensing is good for everybody, not just farmers. And it'll virtually eliminate the so-called estate tax or the death tax. So you have a farm, you leave it to your children. If you like the children, you leave it. If you don't worry about the details. No, some people don't want to leave them. They don't like their kids, you know? Anybody in here not liking their children, farmers?
What the fuck?
But if you like your kids, you want to leave it. And a lot of times what was happening before I got there, because I put this in the first tax bill, as you know.
What the fuck is this?
People would die. They'd leave their farm. There was no cash, but there was value to the farm, sometimes good value. It's called real estate rich and cash poor.
This is
and the kids had no money, and they'd be foreclosed out by a bank.
No wonder the
They'd borrow
speech
money
guy
to pay
didn't
the
show
estate
up.
tax. You don't have to pay estate tax anymore. That's pretty big stuff. So for the farmers and for others in small business, it's great. But James's family has been working in the land for generations, and with this bill, we will ensure that family farms like his can stay in the family for many generations to come.
Lovely.
Where's James? James,
That's a good thing. It's the content president. Yeah. He never reads it. Bro's freestyling. Yeah. Yeah, the worst president ever. The best content ever, though. You got to agree with that, even if you don't like him.
Great. And you know what I mean, James, right? People pass away, they love their kids or whoever they're leaving, but they love their kids especially. And you won't have the family farmer anymore for a long time because they were losing them to the banks, and they were losing them at record numbers. It's not going to happen anymore.
The banks.
There's no tax. We're also going to empower American parents by expanding opportunity scholarships to provide school choice. School choice is a big deal.
Oh. I think all kids should go to public school. That way they get beat up.
And we just got school working with the governor of Texas.
And if they're stupid, they go to the coal mines.
We just had it passed in Texas, and I know about that. Somebody said, yeah, that was a big deal. They've been trying to get it
Make
for
them slaves.
9 years, and they asked me if I'd call the legislature, Republicans in the legislature, and I did. And I gave them a pep talk, and everybody voted for it first time. They were shocked. But they never asked me to call them before. This was the first time, and they got it passed, right, Susie? It was amazing. And it was something that Dan and Greg and everybody, they really wanted it. And Ted Cruz wanted it badly. They all wanted it, so we got it in Texas. But you're going to have it, more and more people are talking about it.
That's the guy that likes Israel.
Good thing. This will be the godsend for mothers like Angelina Banks from Philadelphia. Where's Angelina?
So is he going to sign this shit, or what's going to happen?
Oh,
why does he act like he's in a movie?
You are very pretty. She went out for a second and she's coming back. Okay? Where's Ange? Come on over here, Angelina. Oh, that's terrible. Oh, wow. How are you? I won't ask you where you've been, okay? I promise. But it's great to have you. It's great to have. I mentioned your name. I said, where's Angelina? He said, she'll be right back, sir. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. And Aubrey and Ava Jane, Angelina says the tax relief for child care and education are a foundation for stability and dignity. I think those were your words, right? Stability and dignity. Good words for her family. And with the One Big Beautiful Bill, we're delivering both empowering hundreds of thousands of families to choose the public, private, charter, religious school, or the home school of their choice.
It's unreal.
And Angelina, thank you very much for being with us. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Oh, God.
So this bill will also be the single most important piece of border legislation ever to cross the floor of Congress. We will hire 3,000 new Border Patrol officers and 10,000 new ICE agents. And these people are great. I tell you what, I got to know a lot of them.
What about the Reddit patrol?
And we have
arrest people on the
tremendous
internet.
representation. They've been for me from day one. In fact, I shouldn't say this, but they endorsed me when I first ran, almost at the
10,000?
beginning.
That's a lot.
And they weren't sure
Gotta
if
catch
they
them
were
all.
allowed to endorse
True.
me, and they said, we don't care,
You
we're
gotta get 'em.
endorsing you. But they were great, and they've been my friends ever since. But think of that. So we're going to hire 3,000 new Border Patrol officers, 10,000 new ICE agents. And, you know, these ICE guys, they go into war zones.
Yeah.
And they're tough, and they love our country. And if you're not going to be tough, you're not going to do well. But they are tough, and they'll break into a pack, and they call them a pack. Some of these packs come out of the jails of Venezuela. They come from places that
like
you
a
don't
pack
want to know
of
about.
dogs.
They're gang members that have been all
that's
sent in here
bad.
through Biden's open door stupid policy. The dumbest policy, I think, well, we have a lot of dumb policies, but the worst, I think, is open borders, where anybody comes into our country
pretty
totally
bad one.
vetted, totally unchecked. And they're drug dealers, and they're people that we don't want them, and they're murderers.
See Mark
you know,
Rutten
they're murderers.
called Trump daddy?
I told you, over
I did see
11,000
that.
murderers. They're in here.
Yeah.
50% of those, by the way, murdered more than one person. And they came in, no check-in, no anything. It's so sad. What that man has done to this country, we should never forget it.
Well, it
okay?
wasn't even him.
We should never, ever
I thought it
forget
wasn't even him.
With that whole group of people, I don't even think it was him. He didn't believe in open borders. He didn't believe in men playing in women's sports or transgender for everybody.
Oh, jeez.
But what that group of people has done to
There it
this
is.
country will never, ever, I don't think we can ever allow history
Free
to
watch?
forget it. What they've done
Yeah.
to us is so sad. We're going to fully fund
I heard
the
you.
final sections of border wall, impose a new remittance tax on money sent back to foreign countries, and dramatically increase deportations to a bare minimum of 1 million illegal aliens per year. And what we're doing is we're really going after the criminal aliens,
That's
of which
decent.
we have plenty to work with.
So Trump will have to be
People say,
president
"Well,
for
that's a
20 more
lot,
years.
isn't it?" Well, remember, these countries are very smart.
Okay.
They're headed up by people I know. In almost
It's a
all
lot.
cases, they're very smart people, and they have they're people of great common
At
sense.
least,
they're
yeah.
not sending their good people out. They're sending the bad people out, and they put them into caravans. I think I came up with that name, but somebody did. It's a great name, a caravan. Thousands and sometimes as many as 30,000 people walking right into our country. Again, last month we had none. Think of that. It's almost, people say it's almost impossible. But they come in, and at a minimum, they're not people that work very hard. They're people that are on welfare. They don't want them. They don't want them. They give them to us.
Fucking lazy. They don't do anything.
It's incredible what's happened, and it's so sad to see.
Okay.
It's so sad. Could make you just
Great.
sick to your stomach when you think about it. I was going to say it could make
The
you
Mexicans
cry,
are
but I like to
protesting the
pretend I
caravans
never
now?
cry.
Yeah, they are.
I don't want to be a crier, but it makes you sick to think of what they did. What they did to us is just sick. And guys, if we didn't have a Tom Homan, and if we didn't have some of the guys that we have working so hard and dangerously, the country wouldn't.
If the Democrats
stand
ever
a
win
chance.
again, it's
But
basically
we're getting
over.
them out.
If they win again?
Not as fast as they came
I don't
in,
know if
because they
that's gonna
came in,
happen.
and you'd see hundreds of thousands pour
Not while
into
they're
our
pushing
country
a
in
bunch
a
of
day.
weird-ass bullshit.
But we're getting them out. And here today is Angel Dad, Joe Abraham, the Angel Moms and
I feel like
Angel
it's very
Dad.
unlikely.
Dads, these are incredible people. They lost their precious 20-year-old daughter, Katie, in a hit and run after she was struck by an illegal alien from
Gay
Guatemala.
communist mayors? Wait,
Katie
what?
was stopped at a traffic light, rear-ended, full force, going 60, 70 miles an hour right into the back of her car while she stopped.
What an idiot.
And
Who the fuck
she
drives
died
like
immediately. And her killer, I think you could really say the killer, fled the scene.
Mm-hmm.
And so we will end this invasion once and for all, and we're always going to remember the memory of Katie, that beautiful, beautiful 20-year-old daughter of yours. Where's Joe? Is she around here? Joe? Come here, Joe. Come here.
Man. I will say that, like, in terms of like media content, he's really good.
Thank you, Joe, very much. Also with us is Sarah Stewart from Kerrville, Texas, who lost her brother
the content,
to the fentanyl epidemic that has inundated her small town. Our bill provides billions and billions of dollars to stop fentanyl and other illicit narcotics. We're also charging other countries like Mexico, Canada, and China billions of dollars in taxes that we put on because they've allowed people that are selling fentanyl to go through their countries, or in the case of China, they send it here. And
fentanyl's bad, by the way, in case anybody doesn't know that.
Stop it. I think we're doing a big job of that.
Content creator in chief,
we'd rather stop
clearly.
it. And other illicit narcotics pouring across the border and stealing more American lives. And thank you. Sarah will not rest until that fight is done. We're going to get that fight done. Sarah Stewart is where? Sarah?
Just randomly find somebody.
Beautiful.
Neck beard is spreading. Yeah, I know.
Thank you.
It's bad.
Good guy, huh?
One spoon of fent can kill 100 people?
I can see that.
That's insane.
I also want to thank the president of the National Border Patrol. His name is Paul Perez. He's been with me from the beginning. And Brandon before him. These are great people. I've gotten very friendly with some of these people from Border Patrol and ICE because I'd call them once every 2 or 3 days. How we doing? How we doing? How we doing? If you remember, Kamala was the border czar. And in 4 years, she never made one call to Paul or Brandon or anybody else. And I'd like to have Paul come up, say a couple of words if you're here. Paul? Where are you, Paul?
There he is.
Oh, there you are.
There's old Paul. President Trump made promises that he's kept. Now it's time for Congress to back him up. We need to end the chaotic and recklessness that Biden allowed into this country. The millions of people that are out there, we're going to get with this big, beautiful bill. We've got the funding. We've got the technology. We need everything in that bill to get it done so that no more families are victimized. And those that have victimized families, we can go get them out with ICE. Our officers and agents are not afraid. We're ready to take this fight to them, and we've been so because of President Trump's leadership. Thank you, sir.
Great. It's about what I'd expect. Biden was asleep while the auto pin signed everything.
He's been a great friend of the country. He really has, and he's worked with Tom Homan and Christie and all the people that work so hard. They have been incredible. And
does this mean we can put our
I wasn't
tips
going to do this, but
taxed?
I see Tom Homan is sitting there, and
I don't know what the details are.
I have to call him up. Look at that! I don't call up the Speaker of the House. I don't call up Marco or Peter or anyone. But I want to call this guy because this guy is keeping us very, very safe. Come on up.
Oh, man. He going to get up there? All right, let's get it.
Well, look, I think this issue of the big, beautiful bill should be nonpartisan. I don't know what the hell's the matter with everybody up in Congress? People are dying every day.
The hell's wrong with them?
I just arrested 3 times as many criminals that the Biden administration did. We're taking public safety threats and national security threats off the street every single day. We got over 600,000 illegal aliens with criminal histories walking the streets of this country. We got less than 5,000 deportation officers. This should be a no-brainer. The more resources we get, if we get this bill passed, we got more agents on the road. We buy more beds, we get more transportation flights. More agents means more bad guys arrested, taken off the streets of this country every single day. Every day we arrest a public safety threat or national security threat, this makes this country much safer. Who the hell would be against that? And I get irritated, I get pissed off because I'm sick of meeting angel moms and dads.
Just sitting talking shit.
You want to talk about family separation? They buried their children. So I've done this since 1984. I've worked for 6 different presidents.
Yep.
No one has had the success of the Trump administration. We got the most secure border in the history of this nation today.
He seems mad, yeah. Homan's bad. No, I like him a lot. I think he's great.
But we need more border wall. Border walls save lives. Women and children can't get over that wall, which means they go to a place where there's not a wall. And what's waiting on them? The men and women of the border who take care of the humanitarian needs and save their lives. We already got fentanyl seizures down half. Fentanyl seizures should be 100%. We should have zero fentanyl coming to this country. We need money to help secure that border at a higher level. Stop the fentanyl from coming in. Stop the sex trafficking of women and children. Stop the known inspected terrorists coming across that border. Right now, I was looking at the stats today. ICE is arresting a record number of known suspected terrorists in this country, along with the FBI. With more money, we can arrest more of these people, make this country safer. This is a nonpartisan issue. Let's make this country safe again. So to the Democrats and the Republicans and the Independents, I don't care who you're from, pass the bill so we make this country safe, so we can stop the violence against ICE officers. Let's make this country safe again. And without that bill, it's going to be a hard road. We got a lot of people to look for, a lot of people to arrest, a lot of national security threats we know are in this country.
Put a lot
we
of
need
people
to find
in jail.
We need more money to do that. We need more agents to do that. For God's sake, let's pass this bill and get this done.
That's pretty good. That's all right. When you start arresting business owners for hiring illegals, I completely agree with you, by the way. 100%.
He got so angry he didn't even shake my hand or look at me. Just
Okay. Okay.
But he's right. He's right. And we have no money for the border if we don't pass this bill. We have virtually nothing. And so we're going to get it done for you, Tom, and for all of the people that have worked with you. It's been amazing, the job you've done.
Content president,
just in
that's
finishing,
right.
Look, this is the largest tax cut in the history of our country. They want to give you, the Democrats want to give you the biggest tax increase in the history of our country. They have things, whether it's border or economic development or no tax on tips and Social Security and no tax on overtime, all these different things. There are hundreds of things here. It's so good. And we're going to also cut costs. We're cutting $1.7 trillion in this bill.
What the fuck?
And you're not going to feel any of it. And your Medicaid is left alone. It's left the same. Your Medicare and your Social Security are strengthened. We're not cutting. The Democrats are going to destroy all three of them because it's not sustainable. They'll end up cutting your Medicare, Medicaid in half. So we're going to do a real job. It's so important. So if you can, call your senators, call your congressmen. We have to get the vote. I want to thank you. You have been unbelievable, Mr. Speaker. You have worked round the clock for months.
Yeah.
And, you know, I shouldn't say this, but we don't want to have grandstanders where one or two people raise their vote. We vote no. And they do it to grandstand, that's all. Not good people. They know who I am, who I'm talking about. I call them out. But we don't need grandstanders. We have to get our country back and bring it back strong. And our country is going to be stronger, bigger, better than ever before. We're going to make it better than ever before. And that's despite the bad hand that we were dealt 6 months ago.
Yeah, wouldn't that be good? I feel like that'd be really good.
We were dealt a sick hand. It's unbelievable. You know, when I came back yesterday, as you know, I made a big trip to a place where we had 28 countries represented, and we did something that's never been done. They've raised the number of money, the amount of money that they spend to $1 trillion a year, and that's for world safety. But they all asked me the same question.
Maybe,
said, how could you have allowed this to happen to your country?
Shouldn't be per
I said, I didn't do it. But they said, how could you allow people to pour in? They don't understand it. They all have borders.
What do you mean they don't understand
it?
They're in Europe.
They have
do
walls,
the same
or
thing.
they have just strong people standing there. You can't do it.
Yeah.
And they said to me, you know,
What
it's
the hell?
amazing that they allowed these things to happen. And it's amazing, too. I agree. You know, as a business guy, I always like to understand where the other side's coming from. What do they want? What do they get? And, you know, you can make good deals based on understanding the other side. I never understood the other side in this case. Why would they allow people to pour into our country unchecked?
Long-term voting
I can see
strategy.
People wanting people
That's the
to
reason
come in,
why.
and you let them come in. You have a vetting process. You let
Higher
good people.
census,
We're letting a lot
more
of good people
congressional
in,
seats.
but they're coming in legally.
It's pretty simple, actually.
But why would you allow people to come in that you can look at them and say,
it's just
big
another
trouble,
scam.
big trouble? Why would you do it? It's nobody understands. And a lot of people say voting, but, you know, we've got to strengthen up our elections because the voting is crooked as hell. Got to strengthen it up. But it's not that. It's either they're stupid and they're not stupid, or they hate our country. But we love our country.
It could be both.
And we're going to stop this madness.
Yeah, I think it's both.
We're going to get this bill approved. And all of the things that I've been talking about now for 2 years on the campaign trail, and we won, remember, we won every single swing state. We won by millions of votes. We won everything. We won every
Nobody
it was a
liked
landslide.
Kamala
We
Harris.
won
She was a retard.
something that nobody talks
Everybody
about.
knows that.
Districts.
Everybody
You
knows.
have
It's
thousands
obvious.
of districts. We won 2,750
Mm-hmm.
to 505. Think of that. That's why when you see a map, the whole map is red. That stands for Republican, by the way, because it stands for a lot of other things too, but it stands for Republican.
Yeah.
With a little piece of blue on each side. But that's why, think of that, 2,750 districts to 505 districts. That's what, this was a slaughter, but it gave us a mandate to do some great things. And I want to thank John Thune, and I want to thank the speaker.
It's
and I
kind
want
of
to thank
crazy that he won the
Marco
popular
and everybody
vote, too.
here, everybody here.
I didn't expect that
They
to
have
happen.
been so incredible. Pam, you've been unbelievable as the Attorney General. We appreciate it.
Oh, really?
Not easy. Not easy.
Oh, I don't know about that.
And we're coming back faster than anybody ever thought possible. I told you what they said to me on just trips by very smart people. But we're going to make this, we're going to do this very quickly. It's happening a lot faster than even I thought possible. And we're going to be celebrating very quickly, and we're going to be celebrating for a long time.
Is this his
because
victory
we're turning
speech
our
for
country
2028?
around. We're getting our country
Yeah.
back. And we're
course.
ruling with common sense, you know.
Everybody knows
Whether
that.
you're conservative or liberal, or as they like to say, progressive. They don't like the word liberal anymore.
Oh.
Progressive. I think it's a beautiful word, too. That's why I call them liberal. It's too nice a word. I don't know how you can be progressive when you're turning the country backwards. But no matter what you are, it's all about common sense. And I think that's the way I've ruled. I do what's right. I want to have borders. I don't want to have transgender for anybody that happens to leave the house at a young age, the things they do. I don't want to have men playing in women's sports. That's got to be, you know, they say
Anybody,
it's an 80-20.
bro, if you
I
go
think it's a
outside, you're
97-3
instantly
issue.
transgender.
It's so ridiculous.
Is he running
It's
again,
so
really?
ridiculous.
What do you guys think the probability of Trump running in 2028 is?
There was a long-distance race the other day, or at least reasonably recently, and they had a top man and they had top
I
woman.
love how
but it
people
was
say
a
either
woman's
0
race,
or
and,
100%. I think it's like
the
20,
man
30%.
entered. He happened to be transitioned. Isn't that lovely?
Mm-hmm.
And he entered the race, and he beat the champion woman by 5 hours and 14 seconds.
Wow.
5 hours, that's a lot. Think of it. You're waiting 5 hours for your beautiful daughter to come in. Come on, baby, let's go. You can do it. He won by 5 hours and 14 seconds. It is crazy, and it's so demeaning, and they don't want to change. I see it the other day. Guys like Schumer, our great Palestinian senator, this guy, no, he's changed. He used to like Jewish people. Now he's totally against Jewish people. It's the most incredible transformation I think I've ever seen.
Oh, my God.
But who would allow this to happen? In other sports, the same thing. Try the weightlifting numbers someday. You want to see some big differences. In a million years,
He
the
is
women will
Jewish?
never
Not
catch these
anymore.
numbers. It's not
Trump
going to
took
happen.
away his Jew
And
card.
it's very demeaning to women, and I don't like it when it's demeaning to women. So
Yep.
we're turning
I
the
didn't even
country
know you
around
could do
fast.
that.
We love you all. Thank you very much, and good luck. Thank you.
Yeah, I had no idea. You could take somebody's Jew card away? That's wild. Yeah, Trump is off the cuff completely now? Yeah, bro. This was out of fucking nowhere. Just randomly puts on an event where he sits there and just shouts out his friends, talks shit about other people, and says how great he is. What was this for? I don't know. I don't know.